Hey, Tammy.
Hey, Jackie.
Hey, I am so excited this morning and had the idea of us kind of hopping on Zoom together. We were trying to do a Facebook Live, but technical difficulties. I think it's user error. I can't figure it out. But I wanted to tell people about your video on the symposium and just how much you've influenced me, and talk a little bit about the other interviews on there, as well as answer any questions that you've gotten about the symposium so far.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's been a lot of excitement, and I just have to say bravo to you, Jackie. Like, you have done such
Thank
an
you.
amazing job of providing so many resources. I've been doing your EMDR stuff and just everything that I just have to say, you've been such an influence on me as well. And I'm so happy to be a part of this symposium. I was just like looking through the list, and it's amazing. So some
Thank
of the questions that have come out of just my group is curious about, like, how does it work once they sign up. One of the questions was, is there a CEU option, or could that happen one day, and just, how do they navigate it through, all these amazing it's such an amazing list to choose from.
Oh, thank you. So there's no CUs at this time. That just seemed like such a big undertaking to make sure that it met all of the criteria for that. And I wanted it to be just a great informational source that was at a very good price. So it's free. So there's like the free participation. People have access to all of the videos if they watch them within 36 hours of a release, which, when you sign up for the free participation, you get access to them. So I just wanted to be able to make this great product without all of that extra stuff. Now there is an option for an upgrade where people can get like the entire package of videos and some downloadables, some extras from the people that are, the guests on the symposium, which is it's just like a small price, like $97. But there are no CEUs available at this time. Maybe in future symposiums there will be. This one's going really well, so I'm thinking I'll probably do it again in the future.
It's such a need. There's such a need for all of these resources, and just like the innovation of them and all the creativity. And you just have such a wonderful list. I mean, maybe you could tell us just some of your like favorite thing, or not favorites, but just some highlights and what some people can expect out of it.
Yeah, definitely. I have to say, telling you about my favorites, like all of them are my favorites. I'm so excited about this because I literally sat down after work one day and I was like, who has influenced me the most and who do I want to learn about? I want to learn about um I want to learn more about ADHD. I want to learn about what parent alienation is and who do I contact for that. High conflict divorce, help them with motivation, just all of these random things that I was thinking, I really want to put something together that speaks to all these different areas. So what I'll do, I'll share my screen with you and kind of take a look at, there's 5 different days, there's 8 videos on each day, and we're going to learn from like I love Lucy Lewin. She talks about animal assisted play therapy. I always wanted to know about that. I like to like let my clients be able to bring in dogs and cats, and but
Yeah.
this is actually animal assisted play therapy, which is amazing, and Lucy is amazing. She talks about like the credentialing of that, and Dr. Van Fleet's, oh, it's just incredible. If you haven't heard of that, definitely look into that. That's the first one. And then Claire talks about play therapy. I was trying to think who in the world knows, like, play therapy is definitely our big interest. Who
Right.
can really speak to that in a way that can do it justice? In her mind, her names come to mind. She's incredible. She has such an energy.
Yeah.
And
Claire's
then
awesome.
adoption. I have a lot of clients that, haven't been adopted. So I have Saber Starnes, Jamie Langley with nature. Oh,
Mhm.
she gives like, and all of these people are given like actual techniques of what to do in session. So it's super cool. Lisa Dion, incredible. She's the creator of synergetic play therapy. She's talking about aggressive behavior. She wrote that book, Aggression and Play Therapy.
Uh,
That changed my work. That's incredible. And then Carmen Jimenez Pride. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, but she talks about sand tray. And then Dr. Jen talking about trauma sensitive yoga. I know Dr. Jen is one of your good friends and somebody that you cherish as well. She's just a gold mine of information. And
Mhm.
then myself, I'm talking about becoming an EMDR consultant and therapist and all along. See, we're only like on number 9, and there's so many.
There's
Group
so many.
therapy. Any Katie May fans?
Katie Mae's from my area. I know
Oh my
Katie.
God,
Yeah.
she's amazing.
Yes.
I like took her courses and I started groups, and she takes you hand by hand, step by step. She talks about that in DBD. She does a little bit of sand tray in her like she has a group practice and lots of therapists. She's good,
Mhm.
great. So she's not just good, she's great. And then Kate Shannon, I didn't know about her until I started this. And she has a creative therapy umbrella podcast. One of the most amazing people that I've encountered. I actually recorded a podcast interview with her. I was in my closet for the sound. She's so fun. And then Alyssa Kalbach, I really like her. She's like, she integrates play therapy with EMDR. She's a consultant and she's
Mm.
excellent. And then Robert Cox, he talks about attachment and childhood trauma. Sarah Wayland, I had never heard of relationship development intervention, the RDI. Dr. Wayland, this is amazing. It's an amazing, amazing support for people that have kids with an autism spectrum disorder. I From that video, we're going to do some more work together. And there's not that much in the States as there is in Canada, but she's one of the people that does it in the States. Really good, like specific work with parents, helping them. And then you talking about self-esteem, and it just goes on and on. I think we're both a fellow fan or a fan of Neil Harris with
Yes, the
Hollander.
double labyrinth. Love the double labyrinth. Yeah.
So we talk about that, and then
Yeah.
Stephanie Bird. Stephanie Bird is someone in my area that I do a lot of like local speaking engagements, and
Mhm.
this girl, I call her girl, she's an amazing lady. She's in private practice. She did this technique while we were speaking, and she like has you focus on this one word, and I tell you, it like changed. Like I sometimes I'm a little scattered and a little out of focus. It changed
I
like
don't know
my
anything about that.
it changed my productivity. So
Yeah.
did we do that? She teaches that specific technique. Lynn Louise wonders about high conflict divorce.
Lynn's wonderful, and I've actually taken Lynn's full day on that as well, and she
Oh,
just
you have.
really knows herself. Whenever I have a crisis with a toxic divorce, I give Lynn a call for supervision. So,
I've
I,
done that too, and it's like
yeah,
scary. It's like
it
when
is.
and she, it's like you feel calm just hearing her voice, and then she tells you do this, this, and this,
Yeah.
and then it's not as much of a big deal.
Mm.
She's amazing. I think she's saving the sanity of a lot of people because that can suck the life right out of you while because it's scary.
It's the scariest for us as therapists dealing with these toxic
Hmm.
divorces and that fear of going to court and being sued. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I love Lynn. I mean, her work I feel like is it's such a great contribution to our field. And then Althea,
Mhm.
I'd heard of her a little bit, but after talking to her, I've actually reached out to her for supervision when I had a tough case regarding foster care.
Mm.
She's I don't even know how to put it into words. It's kind of like Santra. You know how when you have something magnificent, but you can't put it into words. She knows her stuff. She's doing the tough work, the very difficult work that not everybody could do.
Right.
She actually, in the download, she provided a video. She has a special room in her practice for aggressive play therapy, and
Mm.
she did a tour of the room. It's amazing. This girl is like a gift. Again, I say girl, but she's an amazing,
Right.
incredible professional. And then Samantha Willis, Lynn told me about Samantha. She's phenomenal. She's doing some research, and she's in her doctoral program, but she has all kinds of training on the LGBTQ community, and she's like has a heart of gold and lots of specific information. The downloads she provided was like specific like resources and things that if that's not the main population that you work with, you may be kind of lost. And she's definitely the go-to person.
Mhm.
Julie Bowen, she works with a lot of teens that are addicted. I like had like a special connection with her. She rides a motorcycle to her work.
Ah, that's
And
awesome.
she puts her helmet right there on her desk. And she said a lot of the teens, they soften up when they see her helmet. And I was like, because it was kind of cold when we were having our interview. I was like, well, how cold do you? She's like, I wait until when it's like 30, then I stop riding. I was like, 30?
Wow.
That's like so cold. But she gives like a specific intervention on what to do with the timeline. Sometimes there's some ambivalence and stuff with addictive behaviors and with teens, it can get complex. And Amanda Maddox, she used to work for me like in my as an independent contractor. She talks about vaping. I have so much admiration for this girl. She's my go-to in the community when I have someone that is struggling with addiction. I send them directly to her. And then the helping kids deal with the active shooter drills. I've had like several clients over the years that get triggered from the drills at school. And she's a school psychologist, and she puts a spin on it that is like, yeah, that's what's going to make the difference. It's like actual what can help rather than talking about how awful it is, which it is up pretty awful. I mean, you have a client that's triggered in your office, it sometimes you're working with that anxiety, but it's like ongoing. She gets some good stuff. Janet Courtney, I know we're both fans of her.
Yeah, and I got certified in first play with Janet, and she really helped me bring Casey's Greatness Wings to life. So
Hmm.
Janet's been a big part of my career, shall we say, in
Let
the
me
field.
see your Casey's Greatness Wings behind you.
Yeah,
That's
do you see the
adorable.
picture? I got
Hmm.
a little picture here of Casey's Greatness Wings.
And you sent me that book, and then I looked in it, and like there's actual pictures of techniques in your book to do. That looks amazing. And that's you learned that through Janet's
Yep.
training.
Yes, yes, through
Wow.
the kinesthetic storytelling and the power of touch, and it really has transformed almost so much of the bibliotherapy that I do and that we use, that we'll do it with the kinesthetic and the storytelling, and just like, like notching up that attachment, and it's just beautiful. So
Hmm.
I am so grateful for Janet's work and her healing and her friendship. So
She
shout out to
has
Janet.
like a heart, and she reminds me a lot of you. Like just her heart is, and she's so smart. So that like all of those skills coupled with just this passion put together, when
So
she's
much knowledge.
talking,
Yes.
oh my, you feel it. You like literally feel it. But I think what she's talking specifically about in this video is, or one of the things, touch is so healing, and a lot of clinicians are scared. What is appropriate, what's not, what can be helpful, what could be hurtful. And
Mhm.
she clears it up. She actually has a book that's really good, and her trainings, I love her.
Yeah, her book is wonderful. Touch and Play Therapy, I think it's called, and it's or
Hmm.
child counseling. It's a great book. Yeah.
And she, for the past, she provided some really good materials too, that if they do the upgrade. This next one, Amy Baker, Dr. Baker, with the parent alienation, I have to say that topic scares the bejeebies out of me. So when I'm like listening to her, I was like, ooh, this is, there's so much I don't know. So the big thing that I got from that is that I need to find someone in my community that is an expert in parent alienation. If I feel like that's what the child, I need to refer out. But she
Mhm.
gives you exactly, kind of the pitfalls and the things that clinicians usually get themselves into. She knows her stuff. I mean, she's the guru on that.
Yeah.
That was one of those interviews that I left out like that, knowing like, oh, I need to, anytime I even taste a little bit of that, I need to refer it out, because there's way more to that than you need special training and stuff for that.
Right.
Sarah talks about, and this is actually this video, I cried in some of them. This is the
Aw.
one of the ones. This lady is one of the most beautiful people. She's a mother. She has also like a coach, but her child has schizophrenia, and she shares her journey about what we
Wow.
need to know as clinicians. Is beautiful. that one, when you listen to it, be prepared to be inspired and just be like prepared to really know that there's hope in the world, just for that deep connection of just pure love when life is at its hardest.
Oh,
She's amazing. That, even just thinking about it, gives me chills. And then this next one, Laura Shack, is she's like, I have like lots of clients that have like, the trichotillomania,
yeah.
and she has a Facebook group. She knows her stuff. There's specific things you can do to help with that, that you need to know if you're working with that population. So she
Mhm.
has training and stuff. She like had some things I was like, really? Oh gosh, I didn't even, so resources and stuff like that. And then Lindsay Bill, I know you know about her. You like her books and
Yeah,
stuff.
I refer all my sensory processing kids, and I refer her book I use her book all the time. So when I saw
Hmm.
her name on the list, I'm like, Lindsay Beal's on the list. So yeah, I've always been impressed with her work. Yeah.
She's like, I have to say, like when I was doing my interview with her, I was kind of starstruck. I did the podcast episode with her a while back, a couple years ago, and I was impressed with her. But when I seen her face to face on this interview, I was like, oh wow, there she is. She's so smart. She actually, for the upgrade, she has like some checklists and stuff, so you can see if indeed sensory issues are a part of what your clients working
So
with.
let me ask you a question with the upgrade
Mhm.
because there are so many. Like I absolutely would have spent time on all of these. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, when am I going to have time to do it? So like, if you don't have time to watch them the day that they are, and if you decide to purchase it, is
Mm.
that like forever? Do you have these videos that you can go
Yes.
back to?
Yeah, they're yours. You can download them at this point. You can watch them over and over again. Plus, what you get, it's called the Therapist Extraordinaire Pass. What you get
Right,
is the access to the downloads as well. There's like about 30 that you, and I'll show you what's in there too. There's some really good things like Janine Halloran. She has a coping skills book. She
right.
actually provide some of our paid product, or a paid product for there, that's like these coping skills cards. So yeah, you get forever access to all of it for only like $97.
Do you think some of these would to take certain segments and to also be able to share it with the parents that we work with? I feel like there's so many good tools to actually like use it as a resource in our therapy to be able to share bits and pieces with the kids or with the parents that we're working with, or that it would be really helpful to be able to use as a resource in our own sessions.
Absolutely. And the reason why I'm saying that is because some of them, especially, you're talking about sharing with parents. See Robin Goebel, do you
Yeah,
know about
yes,
Robin?
Robin has been on my list. I'm very excited. I think I'm going to be seeing her at the Mid-Atlantic Play Therapy Summit in June. That
Mhm.
Robin, but I've just heard such wonderful things about Robin's work. So
Oh,
love Robin.
she's incredible. Well,
Yeah,
anyway, in this video, she like talks exactly about that. To show that video to a parent, or point them to anything that she does, whether it's in the
right.
symposium, anything that Robin does is amazing. That would be helpful. So certainly, once they're yours, they're yours. You can share them with your clients and stuff. And that's what you get with the upgrade. I have to say that out, some of them, all of them are my favorite, but some of them after I did them, I was like, wow, this is unbelievably life changing. This number 35,
Yeah,
assessments in child therapy, Joanna, and I
yeah,
don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, Pikarski. She gives specific play-based assessments, and then the formal assessments, what she uses, she does a little bit of therapy assessments, very specific. And then in the upgrade, she has like a sheet that you could, which I sent to you, a sheet where it tells
right.
exactly what to do. That one, it's about an hour long. It's just gold. I mean, assessments is something that I myself don't feel super strong on, and that gives all the like child behavior checklist, Linda Lowenstein's stuff,
Mhm.
all of that stuff.
Right.
And then I don't know if you know about Dr. Cat with maternal mental health. A lot of my kids,
Yeah.
they are not a lot, but some people, their mom is struggling, especially if they've given birth to a sibling, they're struggling with like maybe some postpartum anxiety or depression, and it affects them. So she talks about that. And then Jill Castle, she's a fave of mine. She's a pediatric nutritionalist. And
Mm,
then Dora Henderson, she's here local. She talks about therapy in schools. Dee Dee is one of my good friends. She talks about grief. She's like the grief guru. And then that last one, Dr. Ellis, he talks about making that creative therapeutic game. I know a lot of us, in which a lot of us have dreams of creating something, but you actually did. You created those Casey's Greatness sticks that are just amazing. And I have some to put in my sand tray.
right? Another question that came through was how long are each? Are they all different lengths?
Yeah, I would say the longest one probably is Joanna's on the assessment. That's about an
Right.
hour. There's one that's like 15 or 20 minutes. The one on the labyrinth is about 15 or 20 minutes. I mainly let him talk. I talked a little bit, I mainly let everybody talk, but I did ask them questions. But like his is so short because he gave the purpose of the labyrinth, how we could use it, and what it can do. So it only took a certain amount, where Joanna went in on like all these different assessments.
Right.
um and then most of them are about half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lots,
it's yeah, it
lots and
varies.
lots of stuff. A lot of
Mhm.
amazing information.
And here's the bonuses. We're at about 30 right now. But Lisa Dion, she provided an ebook and a video on emotional flooding. She's great. There's Amanda talking about family roles. She used to work for me. I love her work. Now she went off and started her own private practice because she's so good. Executive functioning handout. A lot of our kids struggle with that. There's actual and that when actual games and stuff you can do that helps kids with the executive functioning. That discovery deck coloring sheet, that in itself, like I think Joanne or Janine, that's right, Janine Haller, and she like charges like, I think it's like 15, $16 on her website. She gave that for free. Laura Shack has that audio file that they can listen to if they have the urge to pick or to pull. There is Althea's aggressive playroom tour video. That's amazing. And then Noreen, oh my gosh, this one was like so good. I always get nervous, well, as a lot of people do, with clients that have suicide ideation.
Hmm.
And she talks about what do you do, what steps do you take, and what's the process, and knowing when to do what. And she also has she provided that emotional thermometer. um, there's a attunement audio from Robert Cox. He's one of the best. And there's that download from Joanna. And Lynn actually she created a quick guide of yellow and red flags for custody. And there, right there, that positive strength of words to create strength-based activity. I made those sticks based on your influence from when you told me about the greatness sticks. So I kind of just made my words up from the strengths that I mostly see. So I
Yeah.
just provided that one. And then I have a few of them in here about like I work with a lot with kids, the children of deployment, since I'm prior military, and my body scan
Mhm.
there. And then there's the
Great.
timeline. See, there's like tons. I could go on and on. There's Samantha Willis's stuff for the LGBTQ plus community resources. Claire, see that one? There's a video. It's like a family technique with balloons. She actually does it in the video, and we did it right after she recorded her interview. That one's really good. I've actually done that with the family since I've recorded that with her. And then Dee Dee had like 5 tips for working with grieving kids. See, it's kind of like all over the map. This is
Right.
what my brain looks like. It's like bing, 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 bing. And then Sabre Starnes. Have you heard of her, Tammy?
Sure. Yeah.
She integrates bibliotherapy with the sand tray. And what she'll
Cool.
do is like incredible. They'll read a book, and then she'll have them do something in the sand tray related to the book. I'm
Hmm.
not sure the logistics, but she's incredible. I want to go to one of her trainings. And
Yeah.
then Janet Courtney, she provided that Magic Rainbow Hug
Mhm.
book.
Yeah.
So lots and lots of stuff. I feel like I'm like monopolizing the conversation, blah, 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 blah.
No, I mean, it's to share. A lot of people had questions about it. So hearing, a little bit about all of them is really helpful.
Mm-hmm. It's only a little bit over a week away.
My goodness. Wow. Very nice job, Jackie. I mean, yeah,
Oh, thank
it's
you.
amazing. I mean, it had to have been quite an undertaking, but it's such great resources. I mean, it's such a spectrum of everything. Like every one of them, there's different ways that I'll really be able to implement, and just such great tools. Like
Oh,
we're
thank
always just kind of like looking for those tools, right? And
you.
especially in our play therapy world or in our practices, when we've been doing this long enough, it's like we get this one idea that just kind of sticks, and then it just becomes to just kind of like flourish within our practices. And it's just like you just never know when that one thing just kind of is that light bulb that just turns into something else as well. And it's just
Absolutely.
always just so cool to be able to have it. And for me, I need videos. I'm not very good at reading, and like so like being able to have handouts and being able to watch it on a video, at least in terms of my way of learning, is
Mhm.
much more helpful, especially if I have it and I can keep going back to it
Yeah.
than just watching it once, because I just forget and there's so much information. I just think that it just sounds like an amazing symposium, an amazing group of people that you have.
Oh, thank you. I have to say that going back to the videos, I did do that and I would pause it and stuff, especially with like the assessment one, the one with, or several of them, but especially like with the nutritionalist one that gives like
Yeah,
specific examples. So having it is like invaluable. But 36, like even if they sign up for the free one and like no, at no cost, 36 hours is a pretty good amount of time to do that as well. So if anybody watching this wants to sign up, a link will be with this, and then once they click on that, they'll be directed to what to do, and then they'll get the emails and they'll be able to go from there.
okay, great, Jackie, thank you so much. And thank you for having me be a part of it. I'm so happy to be a part of such a cool, innovative event.
It's an honor, Tammy. I love you. I love your work. I just think that you're incredible. And now that I have your book, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's
Oh.
it's like a book representation of you.
Aw.
Very
That's sweet.
nice. All right, Tammy, you take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.